Hello and welcome along to part 2 in the Boxes website video series. In this video we're going to add some content to our page. Now to do that we're going to add it to our HTML page. Now the rules are that content always goes in the HTML page and style is handled with a CSS, which we'll do in an upcoming video. But let's just add some content. We'll do it a couple of ways. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place my cursor inside this container div tag. Now we looked at this briefly in the first video and we didn't really explain what it is, but basically what it is if I go to design view, it's this area here. We've just defined an area between there and here. In other words, this grey area. That's where all our content will go. If we didn't have that, it would go from the edge of the page across the edge to the other side of the page. We don't want that. We want to contain it or wrap it, if you like. That's the term they use, inside this area. And that's what, if you look at this code, that's what this thing is doing here. And it's already got a CSS rule attached to it, but again we'll explain that in an upcoming video, in a more advanced video. Okay, so let's add some content inside this wrapper div. So let's place our cursor there at about line 14 and go to insert. Now I'm going to go insert image. Now this is the easy way to insert stuff into Dreamweaver or into a web page using the menu like that. And it'll be inside the boxes, inside the images folder like that. I want this thing called the boxes.jpg. That's going to be my header graphic. So I'm going to open that. And here in the alternate text, I'm going to type in header graphic for Boxer page, or Boxer site, I should say. This is for the visually impaired people. If they can't see that picture, a screen reader will read this alternate text out to them, and everybody's happy. So, okay. Now watch what happens when I click OK. Dreamweaver has written all this code and it's placed an image over here for us. I'm going to, let's have a look at the code it's written. I just might press a return there, so put that on its own line to make it a bit neater. I didn't have to do that, but just housekeeping. See what it's written? It's written this code. It's written, automatically given us an image tag, and it's worked out the source, where it is, the name of the file, how wide it is, how high it is, and the alternative text that will be read out if the visually impaired can't see the image. Okay, so that's that. One way of placing content into a HTML page. Let's go back to split view and have a look at that, and I might just open this up just a little bit like this. Now I want to add a headline, so let's code that manually. To do that, and we've done this in a previous video, but let's revisit that. If I hold the shift key down and this little left pointy bracket like that, as soon as I do that, up comes this our helper dialog box, and I'm going to press the letter H to go down to H1 because I want there to be a heading. So I'm going to press H1, press return, and then shift right closing bracket. Then I need a bit of text. Now the first boxer we're going to be looking at is Johnny Famechon, a very famous Australian boxer from the 50s, I think it was. Let's have a look. Like that, Johnny Famechon. So that's going to be our headline. And now to close that tag, I'm going to shift like that, and up comes the little dialog box. But we don't need that now. If I just press the /, it'll close that tag for us. Very nice indeed. Let's refresh that, and let's go to design view so we can see what's happened. Great. As you can see, not much style happening at the moment. We just have a basic H1 tag. Now this is what all H1 tags will look like if you don't tell them to be something else, which is what CSS is all about. Same with this image. It'll always place it on the left hand side of its container or its parent div. Now that's a complicated expression and something I'm going to explain ad nauseum in another video. Okay, so let's go back to code view like this. Okay, now I need some text about this Johnny Famechon, so I'm going to again open up the shift left pointy bracket like that. I'm going to press the P tag like this and press return to accept it, and then very nice indeed. Okay, then I'm going to go to Chrome like this to get some text to lipsum.com like that. And here at lipsum.com we can just grab some text. So we might grab some, I'm a big fan of, let's have it in, English will do. Okay, we'll just grab this paragraph here like that by dragging, clicking and dragging, copying it. Command C to copy it. And let's Command Tab back to Dreamweaver. Here we are back in Dreamweaver. And I'm simply going to place my cursor there, then Apple V to paste it in like that. That's a fair amount of text. And now what I need to do is to close that tag. So Shift, left pointy bracket, and then / and that tag is now closed. If I refresh that and go to Design View, we now have some content. We've placed an image. We used the insert tag to do that. And then we hand wrote some code, one for an H1 and a paragraph tag as well, like that. And I want to put one more image in as well. Okay, so before I'll go back to split view. And this time, let's do the image manually rather than use the insert, so we can practice that. If I press return like that, then Shift, open up my tag. Now the tag I want this time is an image tag. So I, like that, double click on image, then space, like this. Press the letter S for source. In other words, which image do you want? So I'm going to click on browse like this. And I want Boxer 1. So I'm going to open that like that. And then I'm going to click here like this, and the width like that, and Dreamweaver knows it's 600, so I'm going to press return, then press space again, then H for height, and Dreamweaver knows it's 572, so press return like that, and then A for alt like this, the alt being the text for the visually impaired, the screen readers, and I'll just say picture of Johnny Famechon, like that. And then I'll go to the end like this, and to close that I'm simply going to press a / and a closing bracket like that. So let's refresh our page, have a look at it, go to Design View, and there it is. There's our content. We've actually placed our content inside our page. In the next video we'll then use CSS to style this page.